I want to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Therapy isn't something to run away from, it's a vessel to run towards. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online, so break out your comfies. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time. Anytime. And schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. No more fumbling to get a session on the calendar. You schedule based on when the time is right for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. Therapy changed my life for the better, pun intended. And with BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Rocky. That's betterhelp.com/Rocky. I've been to Washington, D.C. 3 times. It would have been 4, but in 8th grade, our class was the first one to not get a D.C. trip because the beginning of our school year was when 9/11 happened. Instead, at the end of the year, we went to 2 mansions in Rhode Island and some colonial town in Massachusetts. In the colonial town, we saw a play about racism. American theater and TV is way more about glorifying and glamorizing our most oppressive times in our history, rather than making art that teaches people how to unify and end racism. Long story short, the play didn't hit. Neither did the trip. For that reason, I've only been to DC 3 times. Twice for protests, and 1 time just for funsies. That's right, me and an old improv team I was on went down there for an improv festival. If you don't know what happens at an improv festival, a bunch of teams get time slots, perform with teams they don't know for 2 or 3 days. It's a great networking opportunity if you want to network with a bunch of improvisers from all around the country, or it's a great excuse to get out of town and party with your friends. Because the best part of an improv festival is the hang afterwards, baby. Improvisers are grown-ups who love to have a good time well into their adulthood, for the most part. Any community, from bankers to butchers, are going to have their odd ducks, but generally, the improvisers I roll with tend to be really fun and down to clown. I was lucky because the 4 people I was doing this festival with, we were already really good friends. We were comfy with each other. We didn't have to do the pleasantries. We had a rapport, so the car ride down there was all laughs. Our time slot was really early, something like 6:30 at night, which meant we could boom, perform, then go party. We had this Airbnb rented, we had weed on deck, we had no worries on a checkout time. It was as ideal as possible. What's the first thing we do after checking in? We hit up DC's finest liquor store. Well, I don't know about finest. It was a liquor store and the clerk was behind glass, but it was a liquor store. At this time in my life, I was a big fan of Magnum Pinot Grigio. That's 1.5 liters of wine for roughly $11. And that's not a judgment on my younger self. It's simply a fact about what I drank. Everyone got stocked up with liquor. We rolled up some J's. We got ourselves settled in this adorable Airbnb. The way the Airbnb was set up, it was a basement apartment in a brownstone with backyard access and front porch stoop access. It still felt really, really private. And because we were all born at a certain time, the whole night we just kept saying, "Stoop, kid's afraid to leave his stoop." The whole thing felt really private, even though we were surrounded by houses, probably because we never saw neighbors. I invited my friend Rebecca, who was a friend from the city but lived down in DC now. I said, come to the show, then hang with us afterwards. Because sometimes, and I know it can be scary, but sometimes it is fun to mix friends. Listen, if you've got cool friends on both sides, you never have anything to worry about. The improv show ends, We crush it, thank God. Imagine renting an Airbnb, driving down, doing all this, and then sucking at your improv show. Yikes. There was no mingling with the other teams. There was no sticking around to see what other shows there were. It was time to rage, baby. We had a house and we were going to rage. So Rebecca meets us and we all go out to dinner. I remember being whelmed by the food. Nothing crazy. A little sustenance to get by, but someone in the group ordered a pina colada. By the way, something you will never, at least this round of taste buds, never see me order. I may be the second sweetest bitch you'll ever meet, but I do not have a sweet tooth. Sorry, Willy Wonkas of the world, but you can keep your golden tickets. The pina colada came and it was curdled. I often think about the origins of words, and curdled seems like it exists because someone was mid-vom and someone else shouted, "Oh my God, why are you puking?" And they responded, "Oh, because it's curdled." And thus the word was born. A note to my future lovers who want to become ex-lovers and put out an ad on Craigslist to find another lover. After tiring of me and my wit, I might like getting caught in the rain, but I do not like pina coladas. So the pina comes to the table curdled, and the server brings back another one. In a universe where I do order a pina colada, let's just say that universe exists, okay? The first time it hits my lips chunky, I will not be getting a second. My friend, whichever one of those choice humans it was, did in fact get a second. Never in my goddamn life. And you know what it already was before the shit even hit the table? Say it with me. Curdled, yes. Moving on from that nightmare vom fest, the rest of the night was open to debauchery. On the way back to the Airbnb, we passed a pie shop, amongst other things in the shop, and I bought too many pies, which was all part of a master plan. I knew what the night had in store. I've raged with these people time and time again. When they least expected it, I was going to heat up these pies and surprise them. Back at the house, we smoked our faces off. We played cards. People were taking shots, smoking cigars, bonding over secrets and stories. The kinds of secrets and stories that make friendships deeper. You want to build trust with people? Share your stories. Share your commonalities. To say we got shit-faced in this little DC brownstone would be an understatement. It was 5 New York City improvisers and 1 girl funny enough to roll with comedians, so you already know. The laughs, they never stopped. I happened to be drinking my wine out of a pint glass, and I was taking a sip in the exact moment that one of the members of the crew threw his arm back, connected with the pint glass, which connected with my right front tooth. My God, you guys. I was drunk, but boy, oh boy, did I see birdies everywhere. With the veracity and the circumference and the distance over kilometers that arm hit that pint glass that hit my tooth, I thought I was at the Oscars. I saw so many stars. Not one chip. The universe said,
"You've been touched by an angel, girl."
After we all survived Toothgate, it was back to business. We moved to the backyard, had a ganja circle going, and then I remembered the pies. So I casually walked in that kitchen, pint glass in hand, and I threw those pies in the oven for the ultimate pie surprise. You get a piece of surprise pie, and you get a piece of surprise pie. Was it a smooth transition from the oven to the counter? No. When I was taking it out of the oven, I flipped one of the pies 180 degrees over inside the 350-degree oven. It looked like Jim just got done with it. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. It was bad. But I got all the oven off of it. And the other pie was fine. And I served them up like a 50s TV mom. And you guys, everyone was so happy to get the pie. Oh my God, it was a dream come true. I can still see their precious little drunk, stoned, happy faces gobbling up the oven pie. And really, after that, it was time for bed, at least for me. In the morning, we cleaned up, we went to brunch down the street, hungover, more bonded than ever, and happy. I was in a real Lisa Vanderpump phase at this stage of my life, mainly because I had just discovered Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That meant tight body, tight jeans, and a lot of white button-ups with the sleeves rolled up and the buttons unbuttoned, showing as much cleavage as humanly possible. Still my MO today. And while sitting at brunch, I ran my tongue over my tooth, and I felt what could only be described as a very, very large chip. Obviously, my stomach sank. I panicked. This chip felt so big that when I got back to the house, I did a full examination in the mirror. The chip, my chip, it was only in the back of my tooth. So now every time I have a quiet moment in my brain and my tongue runs over that tooth, I think, damn, that was a wild night.
Duh.
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello. Did you have a good week? I sure hope so. It's only been 7 days, but boy, oh boy, do we have so much to catch up on. And it was a jam-packed week indeed, eh? I threw that A in there in case Drizzy's listening. Today marks my 135th episode. If you're new, welcome to the Party God Squad, baby. Let's ride. And if you're in the squad already, well, then this is big news because this is a solo episode. Brr, 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 brr. First ever. How exciting. Almost exciting as the fight heard around the world. I know, it happened over a week ago, August 5th, a new holiday for America, the Alabama Riverboat Brawl. Now, no judgment on you if you don't know what this is. In fact, kudos to you if you don't know what I'm talking about, because that likely means you're a little more unplugged from the matrix than the majority, and in turn probably have a lot of simple joys and peace in your life. May we all know such bliss, and thank you for choosing Wild Nights as your info wagon. But on August 5th, that was the Alabama Riverboat Brawl. I'm conflicted only a little bit because I want peace on earth. I want laughs. I want loves. Put me up on your walls and call me Art Deco because I want to live, laugh, love. But I'm still human. And sometimes humans want to watch a motherfucker who deserves it get their ass beat. And by golly, did these white folks deserve it. What had happened was a riverboat in Montgomery, Alabama called the Harriet was trying to dock with 227 passengers on board, only to find a group of Caucasians in their boat parked in the Harriet's dock spot. They waited 45 minutes and the wrongfully parked boat wouldn't budge. At around the 45-minute mark, as we know, the co-captain of the Harriet was taken to the dock in this smaller vessel to try to have a talk with these fucking assholes, my words, not the co-captains, and get them to move their boat. Well, that's when the fight popped off. These animals attempted to jump, probably kill Damian Pickett, the 43-year-old co-captain. This man said he was holding on for dear life during this fight. And what were going to be the repercussions if that man died for real? Maybe the attackers would have gotten arrested. Maybe they would have gotten fired, but the way the pendulum swings in this country, they could have gotten a promotion. Their white fragility of being told what to do and being told to move out of a space they didn't belong could have caused more protest, could have caused more racial divide, more tension. White fragility in this country is an epidemic, and I am so serious. If someone in your life exercises that behavior in front of you, get to the root of it, because its poison knows no bounds, especially in the age of social media. But thankfully, he didn't die. He lived to tell the tale of how real UNITY won. There were bystanders who were in fact black, who said, "Not today, Todd. Kurt, I don't think you want to throw that punch. Tucker, you're about to get knocked the fuck out." They had Pickett's back so hard, it was operatic. A chef's kiss. One kid, 16 years old, jumped off the Harriet riverboat, swam to the dock, and really started beating ass. One guy began hitting the privileged posse with a folding chair. The folding chair is now famous. The brawl ultimately ended with the guys who started the fight but certainly couldn't finish it getting arrested. While at my core, we know, right? We know violence isn't the answer, but sometimes you gotta be somebody's lesson. So the next time someone asks them to move their boat when it's parked in a space it does not belong, maybe they'll move their fucking boat. God, if this country could band together and look out for each other and unite the way we unite to kill lanternflies, we would be in such better shape. I have to share something really crazy that happened. It was really weird, and weird in the weirdest way. I'm a good sleeper. I wasn't, then I practiced and I overcame it, and now I'm chillin'. So if I wake up before my alarm, it's strange. It's out of the ords. I had to be up at 7:30 the other morning. I went to bed at a decent hour, and then I woke up at 5:30. Naturally, I was pissed. So I look at my phone, I make sure my alarms are set, and when I picked up my phone, I noticed it was at 4%. Well, this is no good. Then seconds, not minutes, seconds later, it turned off. Out of battery, from 4% to off in a matter of seconds. My phone was apparently suffering from a case of whiskey dick. It wasn't even plugged in. Not a mistake I generally make. She's usually locked and loaded. Obviously, I waited for the phone to turn back on. It's not a big deal. It happens to a lot of phones. And when it did turn back on, I started to process that if I didn't wake up at 5:30, I wouldn't have woken up on time. I would have slept through what should have been my alarm. So what was it? Was it divine intervention that woke me up the minute my cell phone died? Or did I just have to pee? I got some rice at my local Chinese eatery, and they gave me 3 fortune cookies. And the fortunes got me thinking. One said, suppressing a moment of anger may save you a lifetime of sorrow. That means take a breath and bite your tongue. Whoever's feelings you're about to hurt, write it in your journal. The virtue lies in the struggle, not the prize. This one, I get it. It doesn't mean I like it. It doesn't mean I don't also want the prize, but hey, I'll struggle. I'll struggle if the struggle is the real prize. Perhaps the most beautiful and annoying and accurate one is the heart has its reasons, which the reason does not know. Yikes, right? It's essentially like we don't know why we like the things we like or want the people we want, but the heart does, and the heart won't tell you. Well, I need my heart to get a fucking grip. I need my heart to get to talking because I'm picking duds left and right. I'm picking duds. And man, these apps, they know way too much about us. I'm sitting here recording this show as we speak, minding my own damn business, and I just get this alert on my phone. The alert is from Tinder, by the way. It says, put the law of attraction to work and send some likes and bring on the matches. Enough with the placating, Tinder, okay? How you even have access to my search history, I'll never know. These cookies are protecting nothing. When are our phones going to give us answers to our questions that are real head scratchers? I used to know a kid named Anthony from when I worked in retail. I was like 16 or 18. We were the same exact age. We just went to different high schools. Every day on our break, we would watch the second half of Wheel of Fortune together. I don't remember his last name. I don't know anything about him. I'm not even trying to smash all these years later. Well, hold up. Let me run that back. I don't know what he's like. I might, in fact, for sure be trying to smash, so let's retract that. But most of all, I just want to know my old friend Anthony's all right. Do you have old friends from your past who you have no way of contacting, but you just want to wish them well and hope they're good? Someone from your almost faded past came to mind just now. I know they did. When are our phones going to give us info like that? If you're so bad, iPhone, do it. People fade. That's life in a nutshell. Some stay, but most fade. Everything is a series of choices, and each choice opens up different doors down a different path. Start opening some doors before you pass all the doors, and then you don't open any of the doors. I saw an awesome show this week. My friend Liam, who's a member of the Party God Squad, you can go back and check out his episode, one of my faves. The Lemonade Stand Show, co-produced by Liam, is every Wednesday downtown at the Harry Lemon. Highly recommend if you enjoy fun. Highly recommend if you enjoy comedy and laughs. After the show, me and a couple of friends, we go down the street because there are weed shops everywhere now, and we needed to get a couple joints. I specifically ask for sativa every time. I don't know if that's what they give me. These are pop-up shops. They look like they could be gone tomorrow. But I have to at least try, man. A habit of mine at these weed shops is haggling the pre-roll cost down. My friend jumped in on my haggling and told the guy, listen, I'll go in with her, throw in 2 more for this price. The guy starts sweating. Then he says, okay, go outside. And he locks us out the door and says, I gotta go to the apartment next door. I don't know if it was his apartment or the big boss's apartment, but he went next door and he came back out with 4 pre-rolls. Then he said when he split our payments, he just kept saying over and over again, I really shouldn't be doing this. I really shouldn't be doing this. Relax, my guy. It's not like you're giving them to us for free. And these are cone joints. If you're anything like me, you could stuff it in under 90 seconds while watching the Kardashians, wondering if you'll ever find your Travis. Ugh. Go see the Lemonade Stand show at the Harry Lemon. Hilarious way to spend a Wednesday, but bring your own weed. That shop gave me a headache. That brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1, paying taxes in real life is like moving game pieces on a Monopoly board, but much less fun. The rich find ways to avoid it, the poor keep having to pay more of it, and most people deeply regret the hours they've wasted on the game, only to lose at the end. Number 2, people who are mad about the border and people immigrating to America for a better life. Have you tried, taking a breath? Unclench your fists. Sign off of Facebook for a while. Just chill. The call you're getting is coming from inside the house. Worry about your side of the street, watch an Adam Sandler movie, and shut the fuck up. They're taking away our rights. Wake up, you fucking moron. Sorry. Wake up, you regular moron. Because there's absolutely no way you are fucking. Number 3, did you ever accidentally glance at an exposed foot and think, I know in my heart that's a wealthy foot? And number 4, I've had some people ask me if I would make a deal with the devil to have all my wildest dreams come true. I'd argue that most people make little deals with the devil all day long for much less beautiful a prize. A big shout out to my Aunt Dee and my pal Ryan, both celebrating birthdays this week. Both 2 beautiful souls and both people who have only made my life more pleasant, more joyful, and more full of love. Happy birthday to ya. This week is big, everyone. It is a big one for me because on Sunday, August 20th, 6 p.m. at the DC Improv in Washington, D.C., I will be performing in Cypher Sound's Take It Personal hip-hop improv show. If you're in the DC area, please swing through the show. Show us some love. It's going to be so dope. Check us out live. With Syph, you never know who might pop their head in, so don't miss out. And this weekend, his new show, Hip Hop Treasures, just dropped on A&E. Yes, hosted by Cypher Sounds. This show's full of hip-hop legends on the hunt for hip-hop artifacts, LL Cool J, Lil C's, Ice-T, so check it out. And check us out in DC, baby. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me at Wild Nights with Rocky on TikTok and Instagram, at Wild Nights Pod on Twitter. Yeah, I'm still calling it Twitter. To watch extended interviews with all of my guests, please subscribe to me on YouTube. You can support the show for $2 or $5 a month by joining my Patreon. A big thank you and a future thank you to everyone who's written and everyone who will write a review when this episode is over. It really does make a difference. That is it for the Solo Dolo episode. If you had a good time, if you laughed, if anything I said made you think, then share this show with someone on our vibration, baby. And guess what? I'll see you next week for more Wild Nights.
Is it?